What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I seen the title was going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it in the title. Before I get into this video, I definitely want to say that usually when I post my videos, I know a lot of people been, asking, wondering, I know I've been saying, oh, I'm going to look out, now I'm going to respond to y'all. Trust and believe, I try to do it as much as I can, with responding to individuals. I typically respond when the video first drops, so that's more the time that I do. Otherwise, I have a lot of other things going on. I have 2 daughters, as well as, you already know Chris. I'm actually showing Chris. I'm sharing Chris' video so y'all can go check out her vlog. She usually vlogging and stuff like that. So y'all can go check that out. Y'all don't know Chris is my girl. But when I say they're all spoiled, they're all spoiled. On top of, I coach 3rd and 4th grade basketball and 5th and 6th grade basketball. Assistant coach for 3rd and 4th and head coach for 5th and 6th. So it does truly get, busy sometimes. So I definitely, apologize, if I don't respond to everybody comments, but you have here, the former first lady recently said, let me explain something about something to white people. Our hair comes out naturally in curly patterns. So when you straighten it, it will follow your beauty standards. We are trapped by the straightness. Blah, blah, blah. Y'all know what she said. This is a post by Larry Hill Elder. Says, who knew that black women straighten their hair to conform to the expectations of whites? Even worse, who knew this oppressive white standard of beauty, according to Obama, has the real world effect of preventing black kids from learning how to swim? Says, now Obama is partially right. I grew up in then all black South Central Los Angeles at a time when virtually every kid in the neighborhood had a mom and a dad in the house. The fathers either taught the kids to swim or expected the kids to learn. The public pool was almost a mile away, and we had no problem walking there and back with a rolled up towel under our arms with our swimming trunks. Today, most black kids are raised by their mother or grandmother, and I truly agree. And they do not want to get their hair wet. Therefore, the kids aren't learning to swim. Virtually every neighborhood, no matter how poor, has some sort of recreational center or public pool nearby, and there are often swim lessons available for little to no money. And there's people, how I learned how to swim. My uncles literally threw me in a pool, and they were in the pool, and they was like throwing me. You learn different ways. So it's just not about priority of the mothers getting their boys learning to swim. And like mom, the girls don't want to ruin their hair, but I never heard of any girl or woman say they straighten their hair to meet expectations of white people. And I haven't heard that either. That was actually the first time I heard that. As black kids failing to learn to swim, this is a real issue. According to the Centers of Disease and Control Prevention, the drowning rates, the drowning unalive rates for black people under the age of 30 are 1.5 times higher than the rates of white people. Said I received a letter from, and it says here, highest among black children 5 to 9 rates 2 times higher, ages 10 to 14 rates than others. I received a letter from a self-described, says white woman with broom straight hair. When I grew up in the late 60s to mid 70s, my peers as well as my mom wanted curly hair. Mom had her hair permed maybe every 3 months. Very few of the girls in my high school had naturally curly hair. Most of them got perms. I was in the 1st, 2nd grade when my mom started at home perming my hair. This continued until I was out of high school. One girl I remember had naturally wavy hair. That wasn't enough. Let me tell y'all something. When it comes to hair, I feel like everybody's hair is different. I feel like that's the beauty of it. I truly feel like that's the beauty of it. I don't care what anybody says. It's truly the beauty of it. When, everybody's hair is different when everybody's different. I don't care what nobody say. Everybody's for everybody. That's how I always looked at the world. When you see this individual dating this, so you always have somebody that's like, oh, okay, I'm going to talk about this individual because this individual doesn't meet my expectations, or this individual isn't cute to me. But they might be cute to somebody else. That's the beauty of humans, that God created. I truly love that. Now, when you get deeply thinking, but when you're having a person that's like this, like, Michelle Obama, that's constantly and making things out to be so sickening and sad, I'm telling y'all, it's definitely sad. I'm telling y'all, it's definitely sad and sickening to me. Says, speaking of straightening hair for white folks and being trapped under straighteners, one wonders whether Obama discussed this with their friend, civil rights activist Al. No justice, no peace Sharpton, who has long straightened his hair. I'm telling y'all, it's all different. Things are all different. In Obama's hometown in Chicago, there are at least 30 public schools, nearly all located in mostly black southwest side of the city, where 0% of kids can learn or do math. At grade level, this study failed to know how many kids in these failing schools straighten their hair. Finally, Obama had another complaint at a forum with mostly white attendees. Obama, in response to the question about the possibility of a female president, said, as we saw in the past election, sadly, we ain't ready. That's why I'm like, don't even look at me about running because y'all know or y'all are all lying. Y'all are not ready for a woman. Only in America do white liberals pay good money to enrich and hear America's first black lady tell them that their racism oppresses black ladies. Let me tell y'all something about this. One thing about it, I don't care what nobody say. One thing about it, when it all comes down to a lot of this, Michelle Obama is the last person that you need to listen to. I'm not even gonna lie. Michelle Obama is literally the last person that any individual needs to listen to when it comes to anything. As y'all can see this picture, she's literally complaining about every single thing. And I know a lot of y'all seen that video, but Michelle Obama literally complained about every single thing. And she had everything and still to this day has everything, literally amazed for her. And what makes me mad is that you have so many of these individuals, like Michelle Obama. You have a lot of individuals that are, and I'm not even going to put color and say just black women. There's a lot of women, that has money. And I'm gonna go there and, say as far as, Michelle Obama as well, but has money and sit there and complain about, different things instead of uplifting, women, uplifting other little girls, instead of using that I'm about to use this excuse to do. Like, I find it all completely lame. I truly find it all completely lame, and I don't like it whatsoever. Enough of me talking. This is Megyn Kelly. Check it out.
Has there ever been a more racist first lady? She's a racist. That's what we've learned about Michelle Obama. It was a slow reveal. Like, we started to learn. First, we found out she doesn't like America. Then we found out on her show she doesn't like her husband, at all. Then we started to find out she's really obsessed with herself. She's somewhat narcissistic. And then we found out she's a racist. She really can't stand white people. Every problem in her life is as a result of some white person who she imagines is judging her. Like, we're actually spending time thinking about whether her hair is curly or straight. I have news for you, Michelle. On behalf of all whites, we have better things to do. So get over yourself.
Michelle Obama saying that white people can't understand what black women go through with their hair. This is her saying it, not me. That black people can't swim is because of white people's standards for their hair, which is patently untrue. And by the way, as I've said before, look at my hair. Do you know what it takes to protect this hair when I go swimming? And I swim all the time. I have to put a mask on the hair. I have to put a swim cap on the hair. I have to get out of the pool as soon as I'm done doing my laps. I have to shampoo it in a 4-step process that isn't cheap to do. It's lengthy, but that's the cost of doing business. So Michelle, the cost of doing business to be America's first black lady is to just have a little grace and a little dignity and stop blaming all the white women who you need to buy your book to make it a bestseller for all your problems.
Exactly.
She's sidling up to her newfound truth talker role. Like, she's across from that no-name interviewer. Like, okay. She's turning into Kamala Harris. And yeah. I think she thinks that's going to help her. I don't know. But Michelle Obama embodies the maxim that familiarity breeds contempt.
One thing about this is that where possibly, and I say this to make sense, y'all, where does a lot of this actually come from? Why does it have to be, this? Why can't it be to the point where it's, in a sense, just a beautiful thing, to have, it seems just so much of times have changed. Why can't it just be, okay, I'm about to go have fun. When I used to go out of town, even my mom, and things like that, she would go out and we would enjoy, swimming, going to this water park, doing this, doing that, and enjoy that. Nobody wouldn't talk about hair, the beauty, or sit there like, no, nobody wouldn't care about that. I truly don't get it. A lot of this, honestly, is a lot of her so much of complaining. And I find it to where she's enabling others, to do the same instead of uplifting, others. I'm telling y'all. Check it out, y'all.
Might as well just ask for reparations for having curly hair now. Like, shut up. It is ridiculous. And I find it, when I saw that clip, I was like, walk away, Sage, walk away. And of course I couldn't, because what are you doing? You're sitting there about white people's standards to force you to make it straight. And what are you doing? Getting paid $100,000 plus per speech, straightening your hair. Is anyone telling you what to do? No.
That's the thing, your hair straight. I'm like, but
Straighten it. And I tweeted about it, and literally the number of people who were like, yeah, I'm white, and I have never once thought about Black women's hair or telling you how to wear it. Now, are there deep-rooted issues? Yes. We talked about this over the summer on one of the shows. I think it was the first show that you were on, Drew. And I told you how deep it does go, and how, as a biracial woman with what is called good hair, yes, trust me, Jill, hated, disliked, whispered about, oh, she thinks she's better than us because she has good hair. Wait, what? Did I ask for this? Actually, when I was on TV for 30 years, I mean, it was different and weird because every woman, including white women, straighten their hair when they're on TV. The fact that she is using this now and talking about we can't swim because of our hair, like, there's just so many layers that she...
But people have to realize, like, on the reason on why a lot of this is a thing when it comes to this particular video that I made, is because this just goes to show you that they'll constantly, most likely, you know, it's more so of, I'm doing this in your face, and I'm talking crazy about you. I'm belittling you. You know, I'm putting you down. Like that. That's really what this is about when I hear individuals speak, instead of that uplifting. You know, because you're basically saying that, because I'm a Black woman, I shouldn't be able to do this, or I shouldn't be able to do that. But I don't care about none of that, bro. Forget about race. Forget about anything, bro. I don't care, male, female, you're an elder, a child, bro. Anything that you put your mind to, you can do. Stop listening to these individuals that's sitting here talking crazy, making it seem like, you know, you're just this person because I feel like every time I hear Michelle Obama speak, it's more so of, let's make it seem like I'm just a victim. Make me seem like this individual is just so little. I cannot stand it.
Yeah, going into the divisiveness, as she is the ultimate capitalist, and God bless her for that. And maybe most importantly, like, this is funny and comical as she tries to sell her book. I feel like she must have the same publicist as Karine Jean-Pierre with the book thing, because every single time she gets on stage to talk about the book, she is laughed at more and more. They have been out of office for almost a decade. This is a former first lady, and this is what you're doing with your platform right now.
Exactly.
Hating on your husband and about the fact that white people are making you straighten your hair. I've lost all respect for this woman because of how she's choosing to behave with that title of former first lady. Like, it's funny and it's pathetic.
It's definitely pathetic. I'll tell you that. It's definitely pathetic. And one thing about it, definitely spoke the truth. I don't care. Anybody definitely spoke the truth. But y'all, there obviously is a lot of outrage within Michelle Obama. I don't know if y'all remember this post, but this post, you know, literally said, and I'll just play the clip because I don't want, you know, too much, but just listen.
I wanted to talk, Marlon, a bit about, you know, just so proud of how you are being a role model for dealing with a child that's transgender.
Absolutely.
And that's, you know, that warms my heart, particularly as a Black man. You know, would you care to share that journey?
So a lot of this, you know, you obviously have a lot of individuals with, you know, a lot of outrage when it comes to, you know, Michelle didn't mean to say this. Michelle said it and came out, but there's more. You know, you literally been having, you know, and this again, Michelle Obama going with the long hair look for a photo shoot, you know, that everybody has been talking about. And although there has been a lot of talk, you know, about, you know, these pictures in general, about how, you know, Michelle is looking, telling y'all, and she herself, or as I should say, you know, I know a lot of people are, you know, reckless, say he, or, you know, Michelle Obama says people attack her looks by calling her a man because they want to control her. It's not a control thing at all. People are just calling it out as they see. Check it out.
People want to control women. The first thing they do is go after our beauty.
Yes,
Yeah.
the way we look.
The way we
course.
look. And that's true across the board, across the political aisle. Women feeling like they have to show up in this one Barbie doll kind of image to afford being attacked. This happens to young actresses, young women on social media. It is the habit of the culture of the world to put women in their place by attacking their physical. People want to.
Let me tell y'all something. It's not a control thing at all. I just feel like it's just one of the things that individuals has called Michelle Obama out on, and now she's doing everything in her power to, of course, bring everybody else into, her problems. I mean, it's just that. I mean, just right here. I mean, it just goes to show you everything.
So I wanted to take advantage of the fact that as the First Lady, yes, you can be smart and educated and beautiful and sexy and interesting and all those things. And yes, you can be a black woman, a tall 5'11" black woman.
This is exactly what I'm
Did you
talking about.
see
It's
the
always about
shoulders?
race.
You missed that.
It's always about race. It's never just you can be a woman. Just spread that love. I just absolutely hate and cannot stand that individuals constantly make everything out to be race, and about race, and have to throw race in there. I just feel like, and I see on TikTok sometimes. I know y'all get on TikTok and y'all see TikTok, at different time. I know everybody don't. I know it's gonna be that person to comment, I don't mess with TikTok. Some people do. You're on TikTok and you see that these individuals, there's some individuals that truly, will get on and say comments, oh, I love my people. Bro, just stop that, bro. Why can't people just be amazing? God made us. God made us, and we're all different in our own way. We all have a talent, and some of us don't know our talent. But one thing about it is that I find it completely amazing. I find it completely amazing that individuals, are different. Are different. One thing about it, man, anything that y'all put your mind to, regardless, like I've said, whatever the color of your skin, who you are, how old you are, does not matter. One thing about it, I don't care about any of it. One thing about it, y'all, is that truly enough, you put your mind to it, you can do it. I've always had that mindset. My father, y'all know, my family, most of the Democrats, my mom and my dad. And I always grew up to, all because I'm black, I wouldn't be able to do this. I always thought, I used to watch this dude. I don't know if he makes videos anymore. Supercar Suspects. This is a white guy that did, I started my YouTube with car videos, and I watched Supercar Suspects. And, I always had it in my head, I won't be able to do this. I don't know if I'll be able to do this because, the color of my skin. And I had to get out of that. And obviously it was well before, even doing these videos, but I myself had to get out of that because, and it actually took, and that's crazy that I, tell this story. It actually took a different YouTuber, and it shouldn't even have to be that way. But, how I grew up, it led that way, and some people don't know until they're taught. And that's why I get on here and I try my best, to let people know, and I had that, and I watch the Supercar Suspects, and then I start watching this dude named Tall Guy Car Reviews. I don't know if y'all know who that is, but it's a black dude, biracial, like, what I mean. I think he's biracial, and I seen him, and I seen that he was doing car videos. I'm like, man, you can do it. And I started seeing this dude named Mozzie, and I started seeing this dude. I started seeing different individuals do it, and it just made me happy in a way. It definitely made me happy, and it shouldn't even be like that, is what I'm telling y'all. It shouldn't take you to just look at the color of somebody's skin. It should take you to look and say, oh, I can do this. No matter who it is. I can do this because this is something that I want to do. You know what I mean? Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe. I definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Catch y'all next one.